So let's just jump right in with the big one. Maybe the biggest question there is when it comes to this technology. Can a machine, a bunch of code, actually understand the difference between good and evil? It's a huge question. So let's pull back the curtain, look at the actual blueprint, and see what's really going on under the hood.
You've probably seen something just like this pop out of a chatbot, right? And it sounds really good. It's wise, it's thoughtful, it's the kind of thing that makes you lean back and go, wow. Okay, maybe it really does get it.
And that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Is there real, genuine understanding behind those perfectly polished words, or is it just a clever trick?
Okay, so this is it. This is the blueprint. The single most important concept we need to get our heads around today. An AI doesn't have a moral mind. It's a moral mirror. A really complex, super high-resolution mirror, sure, but a mirror nonetheless. It's just reflecting the massive ocean of human writing, conversations, and ideas we fed it. It's showing us a reflection of ourselves.
So to really understand how this mirror works, we've got to be architects for a minute. We need to deconstruct what knowing right from wrong even means. And we can actually break it down into three pretty distinct layers.
Now, what's wild is that AI is getting scarily good at the first two layers. Pattern recognition? Yep, it can look at millions of examples and label things good or bad. Moral reasoning? It's getting there too. Weighing options, explaining trade-offs. But that third layer, moral agency, that's about owning it, being truly accountable. And that's still a deeply, deeply human space. And that's what we're going to dig into. To really get a handle on this whole moral agency thing, we're not just going to use one perspective. We're going to look at the problem through four incredibly powerful lenses from some of the world's major traditions. And each one is going to give us a totally unique angle on what it means to be a moral actor. So let's start with the Christian lens. And from this viewpoint, the whole game really comes down to one core concept: choice. Or, as you know it, free will. See, from this perspective, a bad action or sin, it's not just a mistake that leads to a bad outcome. It's something that happens on the inside. It requires an internal choice, a conscious turning of your will away from what you know is right. It's an offense against your own conscience. And that question just perfectly highlights the gap, doesn't it? An AI is built to follow instructions, to hit its objectives. It doesn't have a will that can just decide to rebel against the good. So this lens suggests the moral responsibility can't possibly be with the tool. It has to stay with the human who's using it.
Okay, let's switch lenses. Now we're looking through the lens of Islamic thought. And here the focus shifts a little bit, from the ability to choose to the inner state behind the choice. It's all about intention. This concept, niyya, or intention, is absolutely central. It's the why behind the what. It's that sincere internal commitment that gives any action its moral flavor. You could have two people do the exact same thing, but with different intentions, the acts have completely different moral values.
So this really forces us to think, right? An AI can absolutely generate a good answer. It can be helpful, correct, even seem empathetic. But because it has no inner life, no genuine intention or ownership behind that answer, can we really call what it does goodness in the same way we talk about human goodness? All right, on to our third lens. Let's zoom out with Hindu philosophy. This view asks us to stop looking at actions as these isolated little events and instead see them as part of this huge, interconnected moral fabric. So in this system, morality is all about cause and effect. Karma is this basic principle that our actions, which should be guided by our duties, or dharma, create these ripples that flow outwards and literally shape our future. It's one long, unbroken chain. So from this angle, the interesting question isn't does the AI have karma? It's how does the AI change our karma? The AI becomes this incredibly powerful amplifier for our own actions, which reshapes our duties and massively scales up the consequences. The moral weight, the karma, it sticks to us, the users.
And for our final lens, we're turning to Buddhism. And this one grounds the entire moral project in something very direct and personal, the subjective experience of being alive.
At the heart of Buddhist ethics is the reality of dukkha, often translated as suffering or unsatisfactoriness. The entire point of living a moral life is to understand the causes of this suffering and ultimately to end it. And that whole process is completely tied up with consciousness and intentional states of mind, like compassion.
And this brings us to a really deep question. An AI can analyze all the data in the world about suffering. It can spot the patterns. It can even suggest things to do about it. But can a system that has no inner world, no subjective feeling of what it's like to be happy or sad, ever truly understand suffering? Okay, so we've looked at this through 4 very different lenses: free will, intention, karma, and consciousness. And what's amazing is that when you put them all together, a surprisingly clear picture starts to form about where the buck really stops. And this is the bottom line. This is what every single one of these profound traditions is telling us. Real morality isn't just a test where you have to spit out the right answer. It's about being the kind of agent who has intentions, who makes choices, and who stands by the consequences. And what's just fascinating is that this isn't just ancient wisdom. It's exactly what modern AI policy is all about. You look at any of the big governance frameworks being built right now, and what do you see? They're not trying to make AI into a moral person. No. They're focused on enforcing human oversight, on demanding transparency and accountability, and on managing the weird risks, like when AI confidently makes stuff up, or preventing us from getting tricked into thinking it's human. But this brings us to one last and really crucial twist in the story. We've established that AI is a moral mirror. But what happens if that mirror is cracked? What if the reflection it's showing us is distorted?
And this is maybe the mirror's biggest flaw. Real human morality is messy. It's diverse, it's contradictory, it's all over the place. But an AI doesn't show you that beautiful mess. It takes all of that data and it compresses it, it averages it out, it smooths over the disagreements and flattens all that rich cultural texture into one single confident-sounding voice.
So this is the question I really want to leave you with. We started by asking if an AI can understand good and evil. But maybe, just maybe, that was the wrong question all along. If this machine is just a powerful, high-definition mirror reflecting our collective values, our wisdom, our biases, our blind spots and all, then the real question is, what does it say about us when we dare to look into it? What do you see?